Every issue has an opinion which falls on both sides of the fence. Hi, I'm Joel Reuter, and on this month's reports we'll take a look at Indiana's fence laws and other policy development topics.
The media training seminars are well underway in the eastern part of Indiana. Hi, I'm Marty Bird. I'll have that story coming up next.
This month's priority issue will continue to focus on the 1995 Farm Bill.
PD and other county leaders attended district policy development meetings which primarily covered the 1995 Farm Bill Task Force. Key points are available for your county to consider, discuss, adopt, or table during your annual meeting. Members appreciate the hard work that went into this report, says Wabash County PD Chairman Gene Schenkel.
This is going to go back to Wabash County, and our Policy Development Committee is going to work on it, and we hope to come up with some resolutions that pretty much fall in line with this. We may have some different ideas, but that's Farm Bureau policy making. And
there were also a number of committees which explored state issues this summer, like changes to Indiana's fence law.
Vermilion County grain farmer Tom Milligan's fence isn't exactly horse-high, bull-strong, or hog-tight, but it works. It keeps his neighbor's livestock out of his soybean field. If it needs replacement, Milligan explains who's legally responsible under current laws.
When the fence law was established, I think it was a good law. It was established such that each landowner had the responsibility to maintain the fence. As he stood on his side of this fence, he would maintain the right side. And in this case, this is the side that we farm over here. I would maintain the far end of this fence. My neighbor would maintain the end that we see right here.
This summer, Milligan and a special fence law committee closely inspected Indiana's fence law and found it was outdated. Their report is available for you to consider during policy development meetings. The committee's main recommendation is simply this: if you want the fence, you build it, and you can specify what type. Sounds simple, right? Well, that may not always be the case. Neighbors don't always act like good neighbors, and disputes turn into legal battles. The committee, after reviewing several other state laws, recommends disagreements over costs, construction, or whatever be arbitrated by a fence viewer committee made up of one non-relative from each party and the township trustee. Of course, if you didn't like their decision, you could always take it to court.
If you don't resolve the fence law disputes in a neighborly fashion, the next chain of review might become quite costly to the person who doesn't act like a good neighbor.
The committee hopes neighbors resolve problems before they start drawing lines in the sand. Their recommendations provide a boundary for policy discussion.
Even the most ardent opponent that we might have on one particular issue may be our ally on another.
Have you ever wondered the proper way to write a news release or a letter to the editor? How do you get practice interviewing in front of a TV camera before the news crew comes to your door? All of these topics and more are covered in the statewide media training seminars, conducted by Information Division staff.
Media training attendees are finding solutions to common problems they can solve back in their counties.
Well, I found out that many of the other counties have about the same problems that we have. They may have them in a different degree, but we still all have basically the same problems, and they can be handled in about the same way.
I think we'll probably do a little more as far as reaching out to the media as a result of this seminar, trying to promote some of the things Farm Bureau does here locally.
Selected County Farm Bureau leaders from the western districts will be invited to participate in media training in 1995.
If we do not take the offensive and present these issues in our discussion amongst our membership, amongst the grassroots, then we may have to live with what comes out of this at a national level without any farm participation whatsoever.
It's still up to the county people. They can either say we completely oppose it, And if that's what each county turns in, then that will be Indiana Farm Bureau's policy.
What if farmers had accurate pinpoint information that would allow them to target their pesticide and fertilizer use on a meter-by-meter basis? Precision farming is becoming a reality in terms of availability and price. Stuart Trulson has more.
Farmers who want site-specific information about what's happening on the ground are turning their attention to satellites in orbit and a technology known as GPS, or Global Positioning System. Here on a research farm at Ames, Iowa, we see how it works. A GPS receiver mounted on a tractor or combine receives signals from satellites in a U.S. Defense Department network. The signals are used to determine the location of equipment in a field. A laptop computer mounted in the cab of the tractor records time and location and information from sensors. A base station also receives the same satellite signals and emits a differential correction signal to the mobile unit for more precise location.
GPS by itself only tells us where we're at. The magic is taking that position and then measuring something. In our case, with the demonstration that we showed this morning, we're measuring fuel use, speed of the tractor, slip, these kinds of things.
Here at a Purdue University field day, GPS was one of the hottest technology topics on a very hot day.
This is a field in Springfield, Illinois, and these maps are soil test levels. This information was collected using a little six-wheeler with a computer and GPS on it so that we knew exactly where every one of those locations was being pulled. This map over here, these dots, these are our 1-second yield readings coming in out of the Ag Leader yield monitor associated with the GPS position at the time that was taken.
But aren't we taking the farmers out of farming with all this technology and data accumulation?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely. It is a set of tools designed to allow him to really increase his value in the operation, because he can focus on what he as a human knows intuitively and step back out of the issues of not having a practical way to implement what he does know.
Back at Ames, Tom Colvin sees an explosion in the use of GPS data in agriculture.
In terms of size, it's coming down very quickly. In terms of cost, it's coming down very quickly. In terms of utility, it's going up greatly.
Ted Macy predicts that within 5 years, 60 to 70% of fertilizer and chemical applications will be done using GPS. He also predicts that farmers harvesting 50% of grain crops will have GPS and yield monitors on their combines. In the rush to learn about GPS, farmers need to think about the data that will be accumulated. Who owns it? Who has access to it? Let's just say for now, some of the questions about GPS are still up in the air. Stuart Trulson reporting.
In other areas of new technology, not too far on the horizon is the availability of a soybean variety that resists Roundup. Test plots like this one in Boone County are all around the state this season, demonstrating the burn down of weeds under various application rates. While it is still in the development phases, the soybean variety may be available in the next few years, which may prove to be very cost effective, says Sam Bailey, Frontier Co-op manager.
Price-wise, this is really going to be an economical way to go for weed control, grass control, whatever you got. Put the Roundup on it and it's gone, and looks real good, and economically it should be especially good.
Empty pesticide containers that would have been thrown away in the landfill or burned are now making their way to more productive uses, thanks to environmentally responsible farmers. A few more dates are available for the annual pesticide container recycling program, but early figures show it may be a record number of collected containers. Last year, more than 60,000 plastic jugs were chipped and sent to manufacturers of plastic products.
Hello, this is Mel Hollingsworth with a membership report. Our membership year is coming to a close and we have a lot of favorable progress to report. Statewide, our membership is over 104% over the previous year. Voting membership has reached 100%. Top total membership counties reaching 110% membership and eligible for the Harvester Award are Vanderburgh County at 112% and Miami County at 111%. We have 3 counties at the Producer Award level. They are Perry County, 108%, followed by Elkhart and Jay counties at 107%. And finally, I'm excited to report that we are very close to an every county gain again this year. As of today, 91 counties have reported 100% of last year's membership. Congratulations, and just a reminder to get your Awards of Excellence program applications into your district director by Thursday, September the 15th.